The enigma unfolds. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, where countless species had long ago mastered the art of interstellar travel, a peculiar phenomenon was beginning to catch the attention of the galactic community. It started as whispers in the shadowy corners of space stations and grew into heated debates in the hallowed halls of the Galactic Council. The subject of this growing intrigue: humans. Ambassador Zara Thompson stood at the viewport of her quarters aboard the diplomatic vessel Unity, her dark eyes reflecting the swirling nebula outside. She absently rubbed her shoulder, where just hours ago a microscopic needle had pierced her skin. The needle, laced with a toxin deadly to 99% of known sentient species, should have ended her life in seconds. Instead, it had merely caused a mild allergic reaction, easily treated by the ship's medical officer. This was the third assassination attempt on a human diplomat in as many standard galactic months. Each time, the would-be assassins had employed methods guaranteed to be lethal to their usual targets, and each time, the humans had walked away with little more than a scratch or a headache. A chime at her door pulled Zara from her thoughts. "Enter," she called, turning to face her visitor. Captain Drelex of the Vexari Confederation stepped into the room, his iridescent scales shimmering under the ambient lighting. The insectoid being's compound eyes focused on Zara with an intensity that would have unnerved most species, but Zara merely smiled, gesturing for her ally to take a seat. "Ambassador Thompson," Drelex began, his translator converting the clicks and chirps of his native language into standard galactic common. "I must express my deepest apologies for the security breach. The assassin has been apprehended, but he took his own life before we could question him." Zara waved a hand dismissively. "No need for apologies, Captain. These things happen in our line of work. I'm just glad no one else was hurt." Drelex's antennae twitched in what Zara had learned to recognize as confusion. "Ambassador, with all due respect, you should be dead. The toxin used was Neuroshock 9, capable of shutting down the nervous system of even the hardiest Kroloxi war beasts. Yet here you stand, seemingly unaffected." Zara shrugged, a uniquely human gesture that never failed to fascinate her alien colleagues. "What can I say? We humans are full of surprises." The Vexari captain chittered softly, a sound Zara interpreted as nervous laughter. "That, Ambassador, is rapidly becoming the understatement of the galactic cycle." As if on cue, Zora's comm unit buzzed. She glanced at the incoming message and frowned. "It seems we're being recalled to Earth. The Galactic Council is demanding answers, and our government feels it's time we provided some." Drelex rose, his wings rustling beneath his ceremonial cloak. "Then I shall escort you personally, Ambassador. It seems the safety of humanity has become a matter of galactic importance." As they made their way to the bridge, Zara couldn't help but ponder the absurdity of the situation. Humanity, barely a century into its journey among the stars, had somehow become the most resilient species in known space. It wasn't their technology, which was laughably primitive compared to some of the elder races. It wasn't their physical strength. Plenty of species could outmatch humans in raw power. No, there was something else at play, something that had allowed humans to survive in a galaxy that should have, by all rights, crushed them within a generation. The Unity disengaged from the space station, its engines humming to life as it prepared for the jump to Earth. As the stars stretched into lines of light around them, Zara found herself wondering what revelations awaited them at home. Whatever the reason for humanity's inexplicable invulnerability, she had a feeling it was about to change the course of galactic history. Little did she know, far across the galaxy, in the deepest, darkest corners of space, news of humanity's resilience was spreading like wildfire. In seedy bars and secret lairs, assassins and bounty hunters exchanged worried glances. For the first time in their brutal careers, they faced a target they couldn't eliminate. And in the grand scheme of the cosmos, that made humans the most dangerous species of all. As the Unity hurtled through hyperspace, carrying Zara and her alien allies toward Earth, The first threads of a much larger tapestry were being woven. The enigma of human invulnerability was about to unfold, and with it, the balance of power in the galaxy would shift irrevocably. The age of humanity was dawning, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath in anticipation. Adaptive resistance. The news of humanity's apparent invincibility spread through the galaxy like a supernova, leaving confusion and fear in its wake. As the Unity docked at Earth's orbital station, Ambassador Zara Thompson couldn't help but feel the weight of countless alien eyes upon her. The station, once a symbol of humanity's first tentative steps into the galactic community, now buzzed with an energy that bordered on chaos. Dr. Elias Chen, Earth's leading xenobiologist, met Zara as she disembarked. His usually calm demeanor was tinged with excitement. "Ambassador," he greeted her, "I trust your journey was eventful." Zara chuckled darkly. "You could say that, Elias. I assume you've been briefed on the situation." "Briefed, yes." "Understood." Far from it. Elias gestured for her to follow him to a secure conference room. "We've been analyzing data from every reported assassination attempt on humans across the galaxy. The results are, well, they're unprecedented." As they entered the room, Zara was surprised to see it already occupied. A holographic display dominated the center, showing various human figures subjected to an array of lethal scenarios. Around the table sat representatives from a dozen different alien species, their eyes fixed on the disturbing images. "Ambassador Thompson," rumbled Kivax, the towering Ursan diplomat. "Your arrival is timely. We were just reviewing the latest data on human resilience." Zara took her seat, nodding to each of the alien representatives in turn. "I assume you all have questions." "Questions," hissed Esleen, the serpentine Ophidian ambassador. "We have moved beyond questions, human. We demand answers. How is it that your species can survive toxins that would reduce our strongest to ash? How do you withstand radiation that would melt the very bones of a Kroloxy?" Dr. Chen cleared his throat, drawing attention to the holographic display. "If I may, ambassadors, we've been conducting extensive research into this phenomenon, and while we don't have all the answers, we've made some fascinating discoveries." The display shifted, zooming in on a human cellular structure. "At first, we thought it might be some kind of advanced nanotechnology or genetic modification. But the truth is far more interesting. It appears that human physiology is in a constant state of microevolution." The alien diplomats leaned in, their curiosity overriding their suspicion for the moment. Elias continued, his voice filled with barely contained excitement. "Every time a human is exposed to a new threat, their body doesn't just fight it off. It adapts, it evolves, in real time, to neutralize the threat and prevent it from being effective again." "Impossible," declared Santa, the crystalline Quartzian representative. "Evolution is a process that takes generations, millennia even. You expect us to believe your species can achieve this in moments?" Zara spoke up, her voice calm but firm. "With all due respect, Ambassador Xanta, the evidence is before you. Humanity has survived every assassination attempt, every accident, every supposedly lethal exposure. We're not claiming to understand it fully ourselves, but we can't deny the results." The room erupted into a cacophony of alien voices, each species trying to comprehend the implications of this revelation. Zara exchanged a glance with Dr. Chen, who nodded subtly. They had expected this reaction. "There's more," Elias said, raising his voice above the din. The room quieted, all eyes turning back to him. "We've discovered that this adaptive ability isn't limited to physical threats. Humans have shown an uncanny resistance to psychological warfare, mind control attempts, and even reality-altering weapons." The holographic display shifted again, showing brain scans of humans under various forms of mental assault. It's as if the human mind has developed a form of quantum uncertainty. The more you try to pin it down, to control or destroy it, the more it slips away, reorganizing itself to resist. Kovacs growled, his ursine features contorting in a mix of awe and fear. "You're saying that humans are evolving faster than we can kill them?" "In essence, yes," Zara replied. "But it's important to understand that this isn't a conscious process. We're not choosing to resist. It's simply a part of who we are." Celine's forked tongue flicked out, tasting the air. "This makes your kind incredibly dangerous, Ambassador. A species that cannot be eliminated, that adapts to every threat. Some might see that as a threat to galactic stability." The room grew tense, the implications of Celine's words hanging heavily in the air. Zara stood, her posture straight and unwavering. "I understand your concerns, ambassadors, but I urge you to see this not as a threat, but as an opportunity. Humanity doesn't seek dominion over the galaxy. We seek partnership, cooperation. Our ability to adapt doesn't make us invincible. It makes us uniquely suited to face the unknown challenges that lie ahead for all of us." As Zara spoke, a commotion outside the conference room caught everyone's attention. The door slid open, revealing a breathless human aide. "Ambassador, Doctor, you need to see this." The aide activated a newsfeed on the holographic display. The image showed a distant space station, engulfed in a strange, shimmering energy field. The reporter's voice came through clearly. "Unprecedented attack on the Centauri Deep Space Research Station. Witnesses report a weapon of unknown design, capable of altering the very fabric of reality within its field of effect." All non-human personnel were instantly rendered comatose, but miraculously, the human researchers appear to be unaffected, continuing their work even as reality warps around them. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity's adaptive abilities had just been pushed to a new extreme, and the galaxy would never be the same. Dr. Chen was the first to break the silence. "It seems," he said softly, "that our research has only scratched the surface of human potential." Zara turned to face the assembled alien diplomats, her expression a mix of determination and concern. "Gentlemen," she said, "I believe we have much to discuss about the future of galactic relations." As the diplomats erupted into frenzied debate, Zara couldn't help but wonder, what other latent abilities might humanity possess, and how would the galaxy change as those abilities came to light? The age of human adaptation had truly begun, and the stars themselves seemed to tremble at the possibilities. The galactic manhunt, the revelation of humanity's adaptive abilities, sent shockwaves through the galactic community. What had begun as a series of failed assassination attempts had evolved into a full-blown crisis of interstellar proportions. In the weeks following the incident at the Centauri Deep Space Research Station, the galaxy's power dynamics shifted dramatically. Commander Lyra Vega stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Force starship, resilient, her eyes fixed on the swirling vortex of a wormhole opening before them. As one of humanity's top military officers, she had been tasked with a mission that would have been considered suicide for any other species, to deliberately draw out and engage the galaxy's most dangerous predators. "Wormhole stabilized," Commander, reported her navigation officer, a young lieutenant named Kai Chen. "We're ready to make the jump." Lyra nodded, her face a mask of determination. "Take us in, Lieutenant. Let's give our hunters something to chase." As the Resilient plunged into the wormhole, Lyra couldn't help but reflect on the bizarre turn of events that had led to this moment. The failed assassinations had given way to more overt attempts at capturing humans alive. Bounty hunters, previously content to operate in the shadows, now openly pursued human targets across the stars. The goal was no longer to kill, but to study, to dissect, to unravel the mystery of human adaptability. The ship emerged from the wormhole in a remote sector of the Outer Rim, a lawless region where the Galactic Council's influence was little more than a fading echo. Almost immediately, alarms blared across the bridge. "Multiple ships dropping out of FTL, Commander," shouted the sensor officer. "Configurations match known bounty hunter vessels. They're moving to surround us." Lyra allowed herself a grim smile. Right on schedule. Tactical, prepare defensive measures. Let's show them why hunting humans is a bad idea. The space around the Resilient erupted into chaos as the bounty hunter ships opened fire. Energy beams and projectiles of various deadly designs converged on the human vessel. But where such an assault would have crippled most ships, the Resilient seemed to shrug off the attacks. Hull integrity at 98% and holding, reported the tactical officer, a note of awe in his voice. Commander, the ship's adaptive shielding is evolving. It's becoming more resistant to their weapons with each hit. This was precisely what Lyra had been counting on. Humanity's adaptive abilities weren't limited to their biology. They had managed to infuse their technology with the same remarkable resilience. The Resilient wasn't just a ship. It was a testament to human ingenuity and their newfound place in the galaxy. Return fire, Lyra ordered calmly. Disable their engines and weapons, but try not to destroy them. We want witnesses to spread the word. As the battle raged on, a transmission cut through the chaos. A holographic image flickered to life on the bridge, revealing the snarling visage of Drakenar, one of the most notorious bounty hunters in the sector. "Surrender your vessel, humans," he growled, his voice a mixture of frustration and barely concealed fear. "The bounty on your kind grows by the day. Every power in the galaxy wants to unlock your secrets. You can't run forever." Lyra stepped forward, meeting the alien's gaze with steely resolve. "We're not running, Drakenar. We're here to send a message. Humanity is not your prey. We're not a puzzle to be solved or a resource to be exploited. We are equals in this galaxy, and it's time you learn to respect that." With a gesture, she cut the transmission. "Tactical, target Drakenar's ship. Let's give him a personal demonstration of why hunting humans is a losing proposition." The Resilient moved with surprising agility for a vessel its size, unleashing a barrage of weapons fire that seemed to anticipate Drakenar's every move. Within moments, the bounty hunter's ship was drifting powerless, its weapons and engines neutralized with surgical precision. As the remaining hunters attempted to flee, Lyra opened a broadband channel. "This is Commander Lyra Vega of the Earth Defense Force. Let it be known that humanity will no longer tolerate these attacks. We come in peace, but we will defend ourselves. The bounty on our heads is worthless. The risk, as you've seen, far outweighs any reward. Spread the word. The hunt is over." In the aftermath of the battle, as the Resilient prepared to return to Earth, Lyra received a priority communication from Ambassador Thompson. The holographic image of Zara appeared, her expression a mix of excitement and concern. "Commander Vega, excellent work out there. Your message will certainly make waves. But we've had a development here on Earth. Our scientists have made a breakthrough in understanding our adaptive abilities. It's not just biological or technological. There's a psychic component we never anticipated." Lyra's eyes widened. "Psychic? You mean?" Zara nodded. "Telepathy, telekinesis, possibly even more. It seems our confrontations with alien threats have awakened latent abilities we never knew we had. The Galactic Council is in an uproar. Some see it as a threat, others as an opportunity for unprecedented cooperation." "And the bounty hunters?" Lyra asked. "Gone underground for now," Zara replied. "But I doubt this is the end. As our abilities grow, so too will the fear and fascination of the galactic community. We're entering a new phase, Commander. The hunt may be over, but the real challenges are just beginning." As the transmission ended, Lyra turned to look out at the star-filled expanse before her. Humanity had survived the assassinations, adapted to every threat, and now emerged victorious from the galaxy's greatest manhunt. But she knew this was just the beginning. With newfound psychic abilities awakening among her people, the very nature of human existence was changing. The stars no longer seemed like distant, unreachable points of light. They were beacons, calling humanity to a destiny beyond anything they had imagined. As the Resilient entered warp speed, Lyra couldn't help but feel a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. The galaxy had tried to hunt humanity, only to unlock a power that would reshape the very fabric of interstellar civilization. The manhunt was over, but humanity's journey to its true potential had only just begun. Humanity's secret weapon. The halls of the Galactic Council on Alpha Centauri Prime buzzed with an energy that bordered on panic. Representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered in the great amphitheater, their voices a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and guttural sounds as universal translators struggled to keep up with the frenzied discussions. At the center of it all stood Dr. Elias Chen, Earth's leading xenobiologist, and Ambassador Zara Thompson. They exchanged a nervous glance as the council arbiter, a towering crystalline being named Xylthar, called for order. Silence. Xylthar's voice reverberated through the chamber, instantly hushing the assembled delegates. We are here to address the emergence of psychic abilities among the human population. Dr. Chen, you have the floor. Explain to us how this development came to be. Elias stepped forward, activating a holographic display that filled the air above the central podium. Images of human brain scans, DNA helices, and swirling energy patterns materialized. Esteemed members of the council, he began, his voice steady despite the weight of countless alien gazes upon him. What we're witnessing is not just an evolutionary leap, but the awakening of abilities that have lain dormant in human DNA for millennia. The display zoomed in on a particular section of the human genome. This sequence, which we've dubbed the Prometheus gene, appears to be the key. Our encounters with alien technologies, toxins, and energy fields have acted as a catalyst, activating latent psychic potential that has always been a part of us. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Zara could sense the mix of fear, awe, and disbelief emanating from the assembled aliens. She stepped forward to stand beside Elias. "We understand your concerns," she said, her voice calm but firm. "The sudden emergence of psychic abilities among our population is as surprising to us as it is to you. But I assure you, we have no intention of using these abilities for conquest or domination." "Pretty words, Ambassador," hissed Esseline, the Ophidian representative. "But how can we trust a species that becomes more powerful with each passing day? A species that our best assassins cannot eliminate, that our most advanced weapons cannot harm?" Before Zara could respond, the chamber was plunged into darkness. A collective gasp rose from the assembled delegates as the emergency systems failed to activate. Then, as suddenly as it had vanished, the light returned. But something was different. In the center of the chamber, where Zara and Elias had stood moments before, a swirling vortex of energy had materialized. From its depths emerged a figure that caused even the most stoic of the alien representatives to recoil in shock. Commander Lyra Vega stepped out of the portal, her body radiating an otherworldly aura. Behind her, the portal remained open, offering a glimpse of a star-filled expanse that couldn't possibly exist within the confines of the council chamber. "Apologies for the dramatic entrance," Lyra said, her voice echoing with a power that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of reality. "But I believe a demonstration was in order." Xylthar's crystalline form vibrated with barely contained alarm. "What is the meaning of this? How did you breach our defenses?" Lyra smiled, a gesture that somehow managed to be both reassuring and unsettling. "We didn't breach anything, Arbiter. We simply stepped through. The abilities we've developed aren't just about reading minds or moving objects. We've begun to understand the fundamental nature of space-time itself." She gestured, and the portal behind her expanded, filling one wall of the chamber. The assembled delegates gasped as they saw images of distant worlds, some familiar, others utterly alien. "This is our gift to the galaxy," Lyra continued. "The ability to traverse vast distances in an instant, to explore realms beyond our wildest imaginations. But it's also our greatest responsibility." Zara stepped forward, placing a hand on Lyra's shoulder. The contact seemed to ground the commander, dimming the aura of power that surrounded her. What Commander Vega is trying to say is that humanity's evolution has given us a unique perspective. We can serve as a bridge between worlds, between dimensions even. Elias joined them, his scientific curiosity overriding his initial shock. The Prometheus gene doesn't just grant us psychic abilities. It allows us to adapt to and harmonize with the fundamental forces of the universe. In essence, we've become living conduits of cosmic energy. The chamber erupted into chaos once more, delegates shouting questions and demands. Xylthar raised a crystalline appendage, restoring order. This is unprecedented. You claim to offer us the stars themselves, but at what cost? How do we know this power won't corrupt you, won't lead humanity to dominate rather than cooperate? Lyra's expression turned solemn. Because we've seen the alternative. In our explorations, we've glimpsed timelines where fear and mistrust led to the destruction of entire civilizations. We've witnessed the consequences of power without wisdom, of progress without compassion. She waved her hand, and the portal shifted to show a desolate, war-torn landscape. This is one possible future, a galaxy torn apart by fear of the unknown. But it doesn't have to be this way. The image changed again, showing a thriving interstellar civilization, with ships of various designs traversing wormholes and alien species working side by side on magnificent structures that defied conventional physics. This is the future we hope to build, Zara said, her voice filled with conviction. One where humanity's gifts serve not to elevate us above others, but to lift all sentient beings to new heights of understanding and exploration. Elias stepped forward, his scientific mind already racing with possibilities. Think of the advancements we could make together. Cures for diseases that have plagued your worlds for eons, solutions to ecological disasters, the ability to rescue civilizations on the brink of extinction. The Prometheus gene isn't just humanity's secret weapon. It's a gift we can share with the entire galaxy. A hush fell over the chamber as the implications sank in. The fear and suspicion that had permeated the air began to give way to a cautious hope. Even Selene, who had been one of humanity's most vocal critics, seemed lost in thought, his serpentine features softening. Xylthar's crystalline form shimmered as it processed this new information. You offer us wonders beyond imagination, but also great responsibility. The power you wield could reshape the very fabric of our reality. How can we be certain it won't fall into the wrong hands? Lyra closed her eyes for a moment, and the aura around her pulsed. When she spoke, her voice carried the weight of cosmic truth. Because the Prometheus gene isn't just about power. It's about connection. The more we develop these abilities, the more we feel the interconnectedness of all life, of all matter and energy in the universe. To harm others would be to harm ourselves. Zara nodded, picking up the thread. We're not asking for blind trust. We're proposing a new era of cooperation. Let us work together. Let us teach you as we learn ourselves. The galaxy stands on the brink of a new age of discovery, and we want all sentient beings to be a part of it. As the council chamber buzzed with excited discussion, Lyra, Zara, and Elias exchanged glances. They had revealed humanity's secret weapon, but it wasn't the psychic abilities or the control over space-time. It was the capacity for growth, for adaptation, for seeing the universe not as a resource to be exploited, but as a vast, interconnected tapestry of which they were just one small part. The hunt for humanity's secrets was over. The journey to unlock the universe's true potential had just begun. A new era dawns. The great hall of the Galactic Concordat buzzed with an energy unlike anything seen in the millennia of its existence. Representatives from every corner of the known universe had gathered for an event that would reshape the course of cosmic history. At the center of it all stood a diverse group of humans, their presence a testament to the incredible journey their species had undertaken. Ambassador Zara Thompson, her silver hair gleaming under the ethereal lights, stepped forward to address the assembly. Beside her stood Commander Lyra Vega, her form shimmering with barely contained psychic energy, and Dr. Elias Chen, his eyes alight with the excitement of scientific discovery. Esteemed beings of the galaxy, Zara began, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. Today marks not just a new chapter in our shared history, but the beginning of a new book entirely. 5 years ago, we stood before you as a curiosity, a species that defied assassination and adapted to every threat. Today, we stand as partners in the greatest adventure our universe has ever known. The holographic displays around the hall came to life, showing images of the remarkable progress made since humanity's psychic awakening. Worlds once ravaged by ecological disaster now thrived, their ecosystems restored by the combined efforts of human psychics and alien scientists. Wormhole networks connected distant galaxies, allowing for exploration and cultural exchange on an unprecedented scale. Lyra stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. The power of the Prometheus gene has grown beyond our wildest dreams, she said, her voice resonating with an otherworldly timbre. But so too has our understanding of its true purpose. We are not meant to be conquerors or saviors, but catalysts for the evolution of all sentient life. With a gesture, she conjured a swirling vortex of energy in the center of the hall. Within its depths, the assembled delegates could see glimpses of possible futures, timelines branching out in infinite directions. We have seen the paths that lie before us, Lyra continued. Futures of unimaginable wonder and futures of unspeakable darkness. The choice of which path we take does not belong to humanity alone, but to all of us together. Dr. Chen moved to join his colleagues, his scientific enthusiasm palpable. The Prometheus gene is not unique to humans, he explained, bringing up detailed genetic displays. We've discovered traces of it in species across the galaxy, dormant, waiting to be awakened. Humanity's journey has been but the first step in a cosmic evolution. A murmur of astonishment rippled through the crowd. Species that had once viewed humans with fear or disdain now leaned forward, hungry for understanding. Xylfar, the crystalline arbiter who had once questioned humanity's intentions, now vibrated with a frequency that indicated deep respect. You propose to share this gift, to awaken these abilities in other species. Zara nodded, her expression serious. With great caution and care, yes. The awakening of these abilities must be a choice, freely made and fully understood. We've learned that the power of the Prometheus gene is shaped by the intentions and cultural values of those who wield it. In the wrong hands, it could be catastrophic. But in the right hands, Lyra added, it could be the key to unlocking the deepest mysteries of existence. From the assembled delegates, a figure emerged that caused a stir of surprise. Draknar, once the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy, now stood as a changed being. His fearsome armor had been replaced by robes that seemed to shimmer with inner light. I stand as living proof of humanity's intentions, Draknar said, his voice carrying the weight of personal transformation. I once hunted them, saw them as prey to be captured and studied. But they showed me mercy, and more than that, they showed me a greater purpose. He raised his hands, and a small object began to float between them, a perfect replica of the galaxy itself, each star a tiny point of light. Through the teachings of human psychics, I have touched the cosmic consciousness that binds us all. I have felt the joy of a star's birth and the sorrow of a planet's death. We stand on the brink of becoming something greater than ourselves. The hall fell silent as the implications sank in. Species that had warred for generations now looked at each other with new eyes, seeing not enemies but potential allies in the grand cosmic dance. Zara's voice cut through the contemplative silence. We propose the formation of a new body, the Cosmic Concordat, not to govern or control, but to guide our species as we take these next evolutionary steps together. To ensure that as we reach for the stars, we do not lose sight of the values that make us worthy of touching them. Holographic displays shimmered into existence before each delegate, outlining the proposed structure of this new interstellar alliance. It was a framework built on principles of mutual growth, shared discovery, and cosmic responsibility. As the delegates began to discuss among themselves, a strange phenomenon occurred. The very air in the chamber seemed to come alive with swirling patterns of energy. Those with latent psychic abilities gasped as they felt a stirring within themselves, a awakening of senses they never knew they possessed. Lyra smiled, recognizing what was happening. The universe itself responds to our intentions, she explained. As we open ourselves to new possibilities, new doors of perception open to us. This is just the beginning. Dr. Chen's eyes widened as he studied the readings on his devices. Incredible. The psychic resonance in this room is creating a cascading effect. It's as if the very fabric of space-time is adapting to our collective consciousness. As the energy swirled and pulsed, a sense of profound connection swept through the assembly. Ancient enmities faded, replaced by a deep understanding of shared existence. Species that could never have communicated before suddenly found themselves sharing thoughts and emotions with perfect clarity. In that moment, the true power of humanity's gift became clear. It was not the ability to resist death or manipulate reality. It was the power to bridge divides, to foster understanding, to elevate all sentient life to a higher plane of existence. Zara, Lyra, and Elias exchanged glances, a mixture of awe and responsibility evident in their expressions. They had started this journey as representatives of a species fighting for survival and recognition. They now stood as guides for a galaxy taking its first steps into a new era of cosmic enlightenment. As the energy in the room began to stabilize, Zara stepped forward one last time. "The age of isolation and fear is over," she declared. "We stand at the dawn of a new era. An era of exploration, of growth, of infinite possibility. The stars are no longer distant points of light, but beacons calling us home. Together, we will answer that call." The chamber erupted in a chorus of agreement, 1,000 different voices united in a singular purpose. As the formal proceedings of the cosmic concordat's formation began, there was a palpable sense that the universe itself was holding its breath, watching as its children took their first tentative steps towards a destiny beyond imagination. Outside the great hall, the cosmos continued its eternal dance. Stars burned, galaxies swirled, and in the vast, silent depths of space, something stirred. The universe, it seemed, had been waiting for this moment. As humanity and its allies reached out to touch the infinite reached back, ready to embrace them in ways they had only begun to comprehend. The hunt that had begun with assassins in the shadows had led to this, not an ending, but a beginning. A new chapter in the cosmic story, with humanity and its newfound allies as the authors of their own destiny. As the newly formed Cosmic Concordat took its first steps into this brave new era, one thing became clear: the greatest adventure in the history of the universe had only just begun.